Elizabeth was a beautiful young woman, the kind who could make heads turn wherever she went. She had smooth caramel skin, sparkling eyes, and a smile that could light up the darkest room. Everyone in her village admires her, and many men wanted her hand in marriage. But Elizabeth chose Ugochukwu. Ugochukwu was a handsome and a gentle man who worked hard as a mechanic, but his earning barely covers their needs. He loves Elizabeth with all his heart and did his best in making her happy. However, life was not easy. Elizabeth, on the other hand, was a woman of high taste. She loved luxury, expensive clothes, shiny jewelries, and the latest gadgets. Unfortunately, her husband couldn't afford to give her the life she deserves. Elizabeth often found herself staring at the wall, deep in thought. She loved Ugochukwu, but she was tired of living in poverty. Elizabeth had two close friends, Nellie and Becky. Unlike Elizabeth, they lived in luxury. Their nails were always done, their clothes sparkling, and their jewelry shone brighter than the morning sun. Every time they stepped out together, Elizabeth couldn't help but feel like a shadow beside them. One day, as they sat under the mango tree, Elizabeth finally spoke up. "Look at me," she said. "Do I not look like the shadow of myself? Ladies, what is your secret? How come you people have so much money? Tell me." Nellie and Becky exchanged glances. Becky sighed. "Girl, you cannot handle it. What we did to get here, you don't have the heart for it." Elizabeth sat up straight. "Try me. I am tired of being poor. My husband cannot even buy me a single gold jewelry." "Ladies, spill, Joe. I want to become a rich girl." Nellie chuckled. "Elizabeth, you loved your husband so much. You cannot do what we did." Elizabeth's face hardened. "Nellie, Becky, if it's money, I would do anything, anything to get the money. Ladies, I can't wait to be rich." The next day, Nellie and Becky took Elizabeth to a secluded forest. There, in the heart of the wood, stood a small shrine. The air was thickened with the smell of incense, and a strange woman sat on a carved wooden stool. She was Ezenwine, the powerful priestess who gives riches. Ezenwine looked at Elizabeth with piercing eyes. "Why are you here?" she asked in a deep, commanding voice. Elizabeth hesitated, then spoke. "I want to be rich." The priestess smiled faintly. "Wealth do not come cheap. Are you ready to pay the price?" Elizabeth swallowed hard. "Yes, I am ready, Ezenwine. The price is your husband's life. His soul will be taken in exchange for your wealth. Do you agree?" Elizabeth stood frozen. Her heart pounded in her chest. Ugochukwu's smiling face flashed before her eyes. But then she thought of Nellie and Becky, of their beautiful lives, and of her own suffering. After a long silence, Elizabeth whispered, "I agreed." Ezenwine handed Elizabeth a small black pot and told her to bury it under a tree near her house. "Once this is done," Ezenwine said, "your husbands will fall ill and die within 7 days. After that, wealth will flow in your life like a river." Elizabeth follows the instruction, just as Ezenwine said. Ugochukwu fell gravely ill. He coughed endlessly and grew weaker each day. Elizabeth pretended to care, but inside her, she waited patiently for the 7th day. When Ugochukwu finally passed away, Elizabeth wept loudly at his funeral, But her tears were not for him. She was already thinking about the wealth she was about to receive. True to Ezenwine's words, money began to pour in. Elizabeth received gifts from strangers, business opportunity she never imagined, and boom, she was living in a mansion. She bought expensive clothes, jewelry, and cars. She became the envy of the village, but her happiness was short-lived. When it was time to bury Ugochukwu, her husband, his family insisted on following the traditions of their village. According to this custom, the widow had to drink the water used to bath the body of her dead husband. This would prove her innocency and show she had no hand in his husband's death. Elizabeth's heart raced. Why should I drink that? She protested. It's disgusting. I can't drink such water. Her sister-in-law Ada stepped forward. If you have nothing to hide, drink it. Elizabeth refused. The women of the family, known as the Umuada, were furious. They grabbed her and dragged her to the center of the compound. There, they shaved her head bare, a sign of disgrace. Elizabeth screamed and fought, but the Umuadas were stronger. Finally, they forced her to drink the water. As the liquid touched her lips, Elizabeth began to shake violently. Her eyes rolled back and she fell to the ground. "I killed him," she screamed. "I traded his life for money." The crowd were shocked. Ugochukwu's mother cried bitterly, falling to her knees. "My son, that should be the one to bury me. I am now the one burying him." She cursed Elizabeth. "It shall never be well with you. You are a witch." As Elizabeth confessed, her body began to convulse. Blood poured from her mouth and she let out a final scream before collapsing, and she died. Ugochukwu's family buried him with honor, but Elizabeth's body was thrown into the forest, abandoned and forgotten. Guys, thank you for watching this video to the end. Please support me by subscribing to my YouTube channel. Thank you. I love you all. Mwah.